Hey everyone, I hope you're doing so well. I'm coming to you today as I had previously promised with my MAC haul of recent purchases that I've made over the past couple months. So it kind of ran from spring to summer so far. The first of these will be the Magically Cool liquid powders that I purchased from MAC. In that collection, there were three powders that actually um, on the outside look very similar to their iridescent loose powders, but if you actually take a look at them and play around with them, you'll find out that they are very different in the sense that the consistency is different. When you put them on your skin, they're a little bit cool to the touch, and I guess that where the liquid part comes from it. Um, and there were three colors. There's a light tone, a mid tone, and a dark tone. And I feel I'd recommend them. I think that any makeup artist or, I know for me, my kit is complete with these three colors as far as highlight colors are concerned. Also, with these, I find that as opposed to the iridescent loose powders, which I really do like, these ones aren't as shimmery or frosty as you would find with the iridescent loose powders. So the first of these colors, which I have, this is a little bit more of the mid-tone. It's a more pink shade. It is called Honey Rose. And like I said, they're almost wet to the touch. So when they touch your skin, they will feel cool, but they'll dry. I'm just going to do swatches for you. So this is with quite a bit of it put onto the back of my hand. It looks very frosty, but as you put it on the skin, it isn't so frosty. It's actually, like I said, I really do enjoy these and I would recommend them. The darkest of these shades is called Cajun, and I think this would be used well as a bronzer on lighter tones and as a highlight or just to give that dewy glow on darker toned skin. Um, on the skin, it doesn't show up as much as the Honey Rose does. It isn't as frosty, which I think would look, which I think is a benefit for darker skin because it won't look too, I don't know. Some people don't like wearing the highlights because it makes their skin look a little oily. So I think this is more of a subtle look. But that's the bronze shade right there. Or sorry, the Cajun shade. The final shade in this collection is a lighter one. It's called Truth and Light, and I actually use this color as a highlight for my eyes as well as cheekbones in my Nicki Minaj uh, tutorial. This is the Truth and Light, this is the Cajun, and this is the Honey Rose. As I've mentioned earlier, I would recommend this for purchase to anybody that maybe has a kit that they're trying to complete. I do have several bronzers, but I think now, and highlights, but I think now I'm probably not going to be too desperate to find colors for different skin tones. I also think these would look great on brides as well. The next collection that I'm going to be speaking to you about is from the MAC Flighty collection. In this collection of items, they came out with a very different consistency of eyeshadow colors. I purchased the brush, which is part natural fibers, part synthetic fibers, and they recommend these for application of these products. With this though, I find that I apply them just the same with my fingers, and it turns out just fine. This brush, however, is nice. I purchased two colors from this collection because I wasn't sure what it would be like to actually use these, and if I had used them, whether or not they would crease or last throughout the day. I did use it, and you cannot use these as a base. Make sure you use an eyeshadow primer. I put an eyeshadow primer as well as a paint pot underneath, and I found that I got my desired look, which was that dewy summer look, and it lasted all day without creasing. So as far as that's concerned, I could recommend them because I have used them. I have a tendency for my eyeshadows to crease without primer, and I was afraid that even with primer that these would crease, and it didn't. So if you're looking for a product that probably won't crease, I would recommend these. The colors aren't too unique. I'm sure you may have eyeshadows in your collection that do match them, so it is completely up to you. However, I purchased two colors, as I had mentioned. The first of these was Luxury Touch, which is a purple sort of rose color. The way I apply it is, like I mentioned earlier, I put the primer on my skin, and then I put a paint pot of any choice to follow that, and then I just pat it onto my skin, and you should let it set to dry before you go on to anything else, just to make sure that it won't budge. So that is Luxury Touch. The second one that I purchased I actually really like because it does give that golden bronze sort of summer look. This one is called Sizzlin Diva, and you apply it the same way. And I mean, you don't, a little goes a long way with these colors. This one is Luxury Touch and Sizzlin Diva. You don't have to put that much. If you want more of a sheer cover, put on less and you're good to go. I just put these on, like I said, on their own, on top of the paint pot and a primer and just some mascara, and it lasted all day. So they are actually really pretty colors though. And for the final set of products that I purchased from MAC, and I'm actually most excited about this, is the MAC Surf Baby collection. The eyeshadows are wonderful. I'm actually wearing two of the colors right now. The payoff is great. Most of them are unique. One of them came out with the Mickey Contractor collection, which I opted not to purchase, but I'll talk to you about that in a minute. The first eyeshadow color that I purchased was Short Shorts. It is a nice frost eyeshadow, which I didn't purchase at first. It reminded me a lot of Mylar and Shroom, kind of in between there, but a little frostier. I went back to MAC after my first little splurge and played with it again, and I liked the payoff, and I thought it was unique, so I went ahead and I purchased it. So I'll do a swatch of all of these colors after I've talked about all of them with you. The next color that I purchased was called Swell Baby. It is a satin eyeshadow by MAC, and as you can see, it's has a hint of a frost in it, and it is a very light pale gray color. The next is Saffron, which is almost a sort of burnt orange color. This is the color that came out with Mickey Contractor collection. When I looked at it at the time, when it came out at first, I wasn't too enthusiastic about it because the payoff didn't seem to be that great. Now with this formula, for some reason, I'm finding other people may have experienced it differently. The color payoff on this product in particular is awesome, which is why I picked it up, because I really do enjoy this color. The next color is Sun Blonde, which is almost a mustard yellow. I really enjoy this color. It is very unique, and I was very drawn to it. I actually was drawn to all the eyeshadow colors. The next one is a Frost. It's called Surf USA. It's almost a green sort of teal color. Again, very lovely color. I don't have any eyeshadow this color in my collection, and I really like the payoff. So just give me a second and I'll do a swatch of all the colors on the back of my hand for you. Okay, so as for the swatch is concerned, here you will see Short Shorts. This is Swell Baby. You have Saffron right there, Sun Blonde, and Surf USA. I'll bring it a little closer if the light will allow for you to see. Actually, I'm sorry about the reflection. You're not going to be able to see it any closer. Out of all these, I would definitely say that Surf USA is the most pigmented. However, I really like the payoff on all of these, and I would recommend these eyeshadows if anybody's interested. And the next item that I purchased from the MAC Surf Baby collection was a cheek powder called My Paradise. I'm actually wearing it right now closer to the backs of my cheeks. It looks like this, and as you can see, it's somewhat of a coral peach color with a gold accent in it. This is a hibiscus flower. I don't know if you can see right there. However, this gold doesn't go all the way through the product. It just sits on top. So once that runs out, all you'll be left with is this coral sort of orange color here, or peach color. It does make for a great cheek color, so I would recommend this, although it's kind of a bummer that this fades out, you're still getting a great product and quite a bit of it as well. The next items that I purchased from this collection were 2 lip glosses, the first of which being almost a golden peach color. This one is called Good Lovin'. And there's a swatch of it right there. The second is more of a coral color, and it is called Strange Potion. I've used it on people of different skin tones, and it looks lovely. I do like how sort of they are frosty, but they kind of just give that dewy, they kind of continue with that dewy theme. I actually really like these colors. The next 2 items that I purchased were the pigments that they have along with this collection. However, they are from MAC's Permanent Collection as well. The first is Melon, and it sort of reminds me of Rubenesque Paint Pot, but in pigment form. And I do really like the finish of this one. The second one is Naked. It's a very nude tone, and I actually think it would go great with any eyeshadow color. It's a pretty universal color that I quite enjoy. So there's the swatch of that for you if you're interested. And with that complete, this is the end of my haul video. I hope you found it useful. If I were to recommend anything from this haul for you to get, for those of you looking to complete a kit and making sure that you've got highlights for all skin tones, I'd recommend the Magically Cool liquid powders. Also, one of the things that I would really recommend is the MAC Surf Baby collection. I think it's worth going into the store and checking out. The pigments you don't have to get, but I really like the eyeshadow colors and the cheek powder. I went into MAC today, and I know that they're sold out of the cheek powder at my location, so make sure you check her out or even check it out online. With that, I'm actually completed my haul for today. I hope you found it useful. Please stay tuned for plenty more, and don't hesitate to send me any requests that you may have. Have a fabulous day.